Hi, this is Sarah Hinchliffe with an author study of Eric Carle for ELM 537. The vision of this author study will be to allow students to gain a better appreciation and understanding of how authors and illustrators create books, where their ideas come from, and how they make choices and what to include in their works. Included in each lesson will be author facts that will, over the course of the project, give students an understanding of where Carle gets his ideas and how he makes them come to life. We'll also discuss color, media, and medium choice. Our author study will conclude with a focus on design, with students creating a class book of their own illustrations. Students will also keep a journal that will include sketches and/or words, either from the books that we read or new ideas that the books inspire. This project is intended for the first grade in either a classroom or school library setting. Carle's books are heavily focused on the visual, as will this project. The project will help to improve literacy, understanding, and encourage reading for enjoyment by building on what students at this age already know, which is how to communicate through visual symbols as easily as they also communicate through language. So this project will build on that and allow students to explore an author illustrator's visual choices better, allowing them to communicate this through their own works. Children need more than just time to read and share books. They also need time for in-depth study. By looking at and drawing from books in various ways, art, music, writing, drama, children have an opportunity to have a greater satisfaction with and clarify personal meanings about what they've read. Author studies that use various learning techniques also allow for multiple learning styles and abilities to be considered. By studying various works by one author, especially an author like Eric Carle that is a classroom and home favorite, they can attach new skills and knowledge to familiar characters and settings. By also including books from an author that includes topics that are introduced throughout the school year, children will be able to sort of reconsider these topics in a fun and creative way. Of course, Eric Carle's been writing and illustrating children's books for a very long time, written over 70 now, started out as a graphic artist and then was approached by Bill Martin Jr. to help with Brown Bear, What Do You See? And has even recently published the Nonsense Show in 2015. So he's chosen for this study as he's classic and well-known author, and that spans a fairly wide range of topics. So his books can be easily found, which makes certainly a bit easier to acquire a lot of them. I know I had a few at home, and then my public library had quite a few more. So one of the purposes of this unit is also to allow students to investigate various art mediums, trying them out, making creations of their own. Carle's illustrations are incredibly textural and seemingly simplistic, using many types of materials that could be easily found and used in the classroom. These books focus on many grade-level appropriate concepts, such as days of the week, months of the year. The varied reading level of these books allows students to practice their growing reading skills on their own. The themes of Carle's books allow children to explore human differences and characteristics in an age-appropriate way. So for the lessons, we're going to do some individually and some as a group. So for the first, we're going to see how many books of The Very Hungry Caterpillar we can get into the classroom, maybe one students can bring in from home or from other libraries. And then watch Eric Carle read The Very Hungry Caterpillar, sort of put a person to the book. And then sort of start in with our author facts to get an idea of where Eric Carle gets his ideas and how he makes his creations. So lesson 3 then will be looking at the books from a group perspective and having some small group discussion. And then with lesson 5, more of an individual lesson that could be done really throughout the unit. And so students will be able to go and pick a book from the sort of Eric Carle library we've created, and along with their journals, be able to either read, them, or maybe even just analyze the pictures if they want and add some inspiration, some sketches to their journal, maybe even just trace some of the things and add them to their journal, things that inspire them. So the final project will be the class book. Each student will individually create a piece of art that they have been inspired to create, maybe by looking at Eric Carle's books and maybe something out of their journals. They'll be either in the collage, mixed media style, and photos of these will be taken along with, which will include their title that they've created and a brief description about where their inspirations came from. And then these will all be added to a class book to share. And this is just my references and the bibliography of the books that I found that are either in the lessons or that I was just sort of inspired the lessons as a whole. Thanks for watching.